As a separate country, North Korea is relatively new with a history of not even a century. What are the similarities and differences between the psyches of North and South?
The similarity and difference come from that both North Korea and South Korea play a God game. To explain, I'll start by establishing the full spectrum of human psyche. What encompasses the full spectrum of human psyche is the combination between good nurturing and death trauma, which induces accepting death as a kid. That is the deepest trauma, which comes with the biggest contrast. It is deepest falling from paradise to hell. And for instance, it's like a falling angel from heaven to earth, I guess. For example, about this contrast, when a wealthiest person become poor, that's quite a falling, while a middle class person becoming poor is less of falling. What constitutes human trauma is contrast. The more contrast, the more drive. When a person experiences this combination of good nurturing and death trauma, he becomes a love junkie, and he feels that he withdrawing from the strongest drug, from paradise, and then he has to face hell. And then when that happens, with the drive of mass murderer like a Kim Il Sung, he pursues to retrieve his paradise back. This combination between good nurturing and death trauma gives a person bipolar symptom of a deep self-doubt and overconfidence. With his deep self-doubt, he's not going to necessarily choose either loving side or following up on his killing urge. While he's in limbo, he feels that he fell to the bottom of the bottom, and then in order for him not to feel terrible about himself, he liked to see himself as a person who can help others, and therefore he becomes a martyr. And with a drive of mass murderer, he elevated himself to a delusional messiah, while one side of himself is a killer of all killers, because while he's playing delusional messiah, he stifles his killing urge for a long time, just like big fat balloon. In this full spectrum of human psyche, South Korea falls close to delusional messiah. After Korean War, technically truce, they experienced economical success. They gave a lot of Korean children, next generation, good nurturing. Yet, inevitably, Korean kids will have certain traumas from adults. In a Korean adult perspective, they really like to pass their trauma to other adults by perhaps conquering other countries. That's the only way they can pass their post-war syndrome. They would have loved to conquer Japan. However, in their position in the world, not being able to do it, they find easy victims internally, and they became their children, harassed children. And however, South Korean children didn't really experience necessarily death trauma. That makes them stay in limbo between good nurturing and certain trauma. However, because they haven't accepted their death, they don't have a drive to go either side. Therefore, in two-sided psyche, they are doubtful and insecure, dependent as well, and they need God. That explains the outburst of fanatical Christianity in Korea that is never found anywhere else, and that spills over wanting to be saved by doctors. And there are so many hospitals and doctors running around. And also, they are dependent on United States, thinking they saved Koreans, South Koreans, from by dropping atomic bomb in Japan. Therefore, they're released. Koreans are released, and then that happened again for South Koreans during the United States intervention in Korean War. In case of North Koreans, because after the war, Korean War, they had to live under Kim Il Sung brutal ruling, and therefore, inevitably, they were going through continuing post-war syndrome, which meant still remaining one side of a human psyche, and then they made them just still joyful killers. In this full spectrum, in this of human psyche, and in this God game North and South are playing, North Koreans play God foot soldiers, while South Koreans play God freaks, and they are basically closet killers, and who might endorse such a thing as capital punishment as an indirect killing. In this full spectrum of a human psyche, most people in the world will fall between mass murderer like Kim Il Sung and delusional messiah. In my view, what human potential is being none of those.
What would you say is the difference between the psyche of the founder Kim Il Sung and the psyche of the rest of the people in the North?
There'll be the difference between winning sperm and rest of the sperm, yet with the same drive and aptitude. For a person like Kim Il Sung and children in the movie The Killing Fields, for them, love and compassion is what generates deepest feeling. In case of Santa, that could be done by giving others presents. In case of Kim Il Sung, there'll be by giving presents of death. And then when that happens, he feels that, see, now you understand how I feel. So therefore, for him, that is compassion. In case of a lot of serial killers, they tend to mix up love, sex, killing. For them, killing generates deepest feeling. And then for them, that is love. And then just like a urge to ejaculate, they cannot resist this urge to kill. For rest of North Koreans, when they're kids, they are taken away from their parents and being brainwashed. And soon they realize they cannot even trust their parents. When that happens, everything, what they think, what they feel, should stay inside of their head. While going through a miserable life, they will concoct opposite of their reality in their fantasy. In their fantasy, what they really want to be is Kim Il Sung, because he is their role model. And some military officers get to play that role by, in their camp, being able to kill anyone they want with no reasons and whatnot. However, whether a person is a military officer or just regular civilian in North Korea, they realize they cannot really come true to their dreams, but becoming Kim Il Sung, because that position is already taken by Kim clan, which is winning sperm, and then they'll pass down that position to next generation, to Kim Jong-Il and current leader Kim Jong-un. Because of that, basically they live on the constant frustration and anger, and that can be channeled into easily. And for them, little food and a little comfort would not cut it. What they really want deep down is just to kill as many people as possible. So difference between North Korean leader and rest of North Korean is North Korean leader is a winning sperm, he's a residing god, and the rest of North Koreans are God foot soldiers.